let me congratulate you, first of all, for the stamina and for hanging there and for performing and promoting cryptocurrencies, ICOs, and so on. And I have to say, in Romania, there is a fact. There is a love affair between investors, less institutionalized investors, of course, and cryptocurrencies. We all know lately to what investment grade is the Bitcoin. We know it's been expanding and growing fantastically in the last couple of weeks. It's becoming mainstream. I know I've been buying some tennis equipment gear on a Romanian website with Bitcoin. You can buy gardening. There are a couple of hotels, including Oradea. You can pay for your overnight room with Bitcoin. So obviously, it's becoming mainstream, which is very important. And events like this one and the work Mike is putting is really putting Romania on the map. But listening to you, Mike, and I picked up on Yoti Pizza and 5 o'clock in the morning. I like that. But also on the love and trust. And obviously, this is no ordinary love, as a very nice song says. And I've seen National Bank officials and I've seen various ministers saying, guys, this should be regulated. Today is not regulated. More in some countries, talking with a colleague in Spain into cryptocurrencies, in some countries is actually prohibited altogether. But that's what makes it probably attractive. And if we go into over-regulating this market, it will become less ordinary. So we might have less non-institutionalized investors interested, less business opportunities, less people willing to just put themselves in the system in line. So I believe it should be a general framework regulation just for general safety investor purpose, and combined with the anti-money laundering, of course, it should be legal, no question about it, but I do not believe in over-regulating a market that's been growing fantastically. And I'm happy to say that it's been growing in Romania. And at the end of my small speech today, I'll come up with one of those out there crazy ideas. It's a recommendation for the government. As an ex-member of the cabinet, I can do that maybe with a bit of weight in the word. There are many technology people here and many out there looking at us over the social media. And a few words about the state-owned fund I'm currently running. It's got a funny name, almost to send you into discreet, just to ensure you don't find it. It's called the National Fund for Credit Guarantees for SMEs. So basically what it does. It should be, and at least as I'm there, my plan is to become the most important and the most concrete support to small and medium enterprises in Romania. Because beyond all the problems an entrepreneur, even if he's coming from the technology sector or any other sector, you can hear about various challenges about low availability of workforce. You hear about lack of predictability. You hear about maybe the control being a bit rather tight than fair. But you always hear a problem. How difficult to access a credit, okay? And generally, SMEs in Romania, general characteristics, they have a low capitalization, basically a low capability of accessing a credit. You go to a bank, you want to buy an equipment that costs 100,000 Bitcoins for the sake of investment, and they ask you to put collateral of 160% of that value. And you'll see a small SMEs, especially if it's a technology, creative industries, they lack in assets. So there is unlikely they have collateral in that value. If they would have it, probably they would find other means of financing themselves. And that's where the fund comes, because we can issue a letter of credit in the value of 80% of the money they request from the bank. So it's an extremely important help that can come at the right moment. Unfortunately, the fund has been working in a approach that's a bit should have been left behind for some years. We have a general addressability. Anybody can come and ask for a letter of credit. It's suitable for everybody, but almost for nobody. And what we do now, we are transiting, and you'll see from the beginning of next year, we are transiting to sectorial addressability. So we'll take Industry 4.0 and we'll work on specific letter of credit criteria and parameters for those type of businesses. We'll work on a different sector from the utility market sector. So we'll have a special design of letter of credit in order to match the needs and the specifics of various businesses in various sectors. It's not rocket science. That's been happening for some years in other financial institutions in Western Europe. We just have to follow through. So this is what's going to happen, and I'm using this event to express my intention to have as many technology companies as possible coming towards us and trying to work together and define better guarantee products to meet their needs. Coming back to today's event, it needs to be love. There is obviously love because it's such a great adoption of, is a lot of talk about ICOs, but there are also a number of successful attempts or in progress. There is a lot of talk about cryptocurrencies, and I know myself in my own portfolio of friends and contacts, investors in Bitcoin. I'm one of the users of those non-tangible exotic currencies. But for those who are now living in Romania and probably very much aware with various discussions in terms of new fiscal code, you are aware that the new fiscal code will imply a reduction of net income for those people working in IT. You are probably aware. And if Sweden looks like in 2021 is going to be the first country with no cash, just electronic transaction. Lithuania, I believe this year, became the first country with a full accomplishment of e-government concept from European Union. So you have an end-to-end e-government. So whatever you do, from setting up a company to paying taxes to whatever, you can do in front of a screen. How about Romania being the first country could substitute this reduction of income with bitcoins or maybe a local cryptocurrency? Why not? So that would be a great thing that the Romanian government could do, would give even stronger legitimacy to cryptocurrencies. I know it's raising smiles, that's what it's meant to be. But that would be a very well-fetched, advanced, forward-thinking, and would really put on the map something that's coming on to us, either we want it or not. Never mind about liking, because I believe we all like it. Well, I'm looking forward for the third edition, no question about it, but more than that, I'm really looking forward to meet every one of you as much as possible, to listen to every speaker. I already know, and I don't want to give you backstage news, but I know you have some great speakers coming today on this on this spot, and I look forward to learn as much as possible from everybody's experience. Keep this market slightly towards safety, regulated, and don't fall into the attempt of over-regulating something that it's working under its own motion and is working well. And in the same time, it's my desire to see forward thinking into the minds of many of the governmental officials. I know there are some great people which they are still in the government. I met some fantastic persons in the cabinet and in the general sense of the administration, and would be great if the Romanian government will actually have an approach into including cryptocurrencies into the general fiscal systems. Would be fantastic and would give a legitimacy that would really help prevail this worldwide mainstream, at least in this region of Europe. Thank you again, Mike, and wish you good luck, and I'm here as always. Thank you.